Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us for episode 107 of the MeepleCore podcast, a bi-weekly podcast about board games, video games, music, and nerd culture. I'm your host, Tim Jennette, the Metal Meeple, and I'm joined by my co-host,
George Breden.
And in this episode, we give you our first impressions for the board games Dokmus, Dinosaur Island, Four Humours, Castles in Tuscany, and much more. Alexa, ask a random question.
Here's a question for you. Who is your favorite athlete?
Thanks. Yeah, that's a question for me. We'll start with you, George, while I think of somebody.
Tim, can you name 3 athletes?
Actually, you know what? I can, specifically because I collected trading cards so much when I was young. I'm talking like Nolan Ryan, Frank Thomas, Jose Canseco.
Okay.
Who else did I collect? I mean, obviously like Jordan and Larry Bird and stuff. As far as like current day athletes, I could tell you like LeBron James and Kobe Bryant.
No. Hey, you pick any one of those as your favorite.
There we go. If I had to pick one, it's strictly, I would say Jose Canseco. Sounds weird, whatever, his crazy steroid use or whatever, but I tried to collect a copy of every card he had, which, dude, at the time I had no clue, right? When you're young, you have no clue. But I had about 45 different Jose Canseco cards from different sets.
Yeah.
But I really like Nolan Ryan because of his, like, what was it, 400 or 500 strikeouts or something? It was crazy.
Yeah, you got me. I'm gonna go with a soccer player. I don't know much about, the other, like the big 4 sports in America. So I'll go with Ronaldinho is going to be my favorite just because he does amazing things on the pitch, but he does it with such joy. Like he clearly loves the sport, loves what he's doing, and he's so creative and just a joy to watch. Ronaldinho for sure.
Yeah, I've seen a couple of Instagram compilation videos pop up, where it's like just one person making so many goals. Yeah. And some of the ways they hit that soccer ball is legit nuts.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I mean, they do a backflip, they hit it backwards, it flies and doesn't arc like across somebody's hands. And it's like,
yeah, if we're talking about like that in particular, like crazy ways that you score goals, Ronaldinho was definitely going to be on that list. But then also like Zlatan Ibrahimovic, he's this Swede with like these super long legs, and he like does crazy high kicks and scores and stuff. I thought about picking him as well.
Oh, we got more out of that question than I thought we would. Too bad Matt wasn't on here to enjoy that one, because he could probably sit here and talk at least basketball forever, maybe even football.
We might have to remember that one. Ask him next time he's on.
Yeah.
Good job, intern. Nice question.
Yeah, good job, intern. After I plugged you in. So we're short this episode of Eric. Going forward, Eric's got some stuff going on in his line of work. He's really, really busy. So he's going to take kind of a hiatus from the podcast. So it's going to be down to George and I.
Yep.
And we've been talking about, and this is something I wanted to do for many, many months now. But honestly, before COVID, it didn't make any sense. But now, since we've been in COVID and quarantined and recording from home so much, it almost makes sense that we can just continue this way.
Right, getting rid of Eric. Point is, that's what.
No.
I'm just joking. I'm joking.
Yeah, just the versatility of recording in our own homes instead of always having to meet here. And while it was really nice, and we used it one time where I built this, not really a set, so to speak, but I got this whole side of my basement lined up with like all these mics and arms and everything. Now I'm zoomed in just on me. But so if you check out the YouTube videos that are still out there, I mean, it's pretty cool. I was going to put like something on this background on this wall.
Such plans.
Make this. Yeah, such plans changed because we went into the pandemic. But one thing I wanted to do is always try to give more content where we're giving content weekly instead of bi-weekly. What we're probably going to do is take the podcast and not really split it up, but we're going to do it weekly. It's going to be George and I. We're going to be doing, a release each week, much shorter episode, probably between an hour and a half depending on how it lands. So it's still the same amount of length and content, just split among, instead of 3 hours, you get an hour and a half each week.
Yeah.
On top of that, I'm going to try to get more guests and things like that. So if you're listening to the show and you're involved in the industry somehow, like you own a podcast or you do reviews online or you have a YouTube channel, whatever, you're a designer, a publisher, reach out to us at MeepleCore@gmail.com. Let us know. It'd be cool to get you on the show and just kind of talk. You can plug your stuff and maybe we can hop on your show, do a little bit of a trade if you have one. That'd be pretty neat. Yep. So and plus I want to know what people think about this. I think I've mentioned it once before, very much in the past, because I was going to try to do these Tim Talk things. If you're an older listener to the podcast, you kind of remember this. This was like literally 8 or 9 months ago that I did one about how to do podcast editing and stuff. And I was going to turn that into doing more video game reviews and things that we weren't going to talk about on the main show. That might change. Might be George and I talking board games, getting some guests on here, and maybe we'll have Matt every once in a while. I don't know if he'll guest on this, or maybe we'll do something separate where we do some video games, since him and I play a lot of video games as well. So.
Yeah, that sounds good. And when we can have Eric back, we'll have Eric back.
Yeah, if Eric comes back, that's cool. I mean, he's got a lot of stuff going on. Who knows? Maybe his work's just going to boom and boom like it is, and he's going to be gone for quite a while. I don't know. We'll whatever. I'm open for anything. I'm not, angry or mad or sad. Or I'm sad, honestly. It'd be cool if it was all four of us, because I really like that lineup. It was really cool dynamic going on. And I'm sure we'll have times when we have everybody on there again. But
it's a flexible situation.
Yeah. I definitely don't want to do the podcast alone. You know how boring that is? When I do video reviews, like on the Dice Tower and stuff, you're just talking to a camera. There's so much time to mess up because you need to speak the whole time.
Oh, yeah.
Right now, if I want to, if you start talking, I take a breather, I take a drink. If there's another person, it's less time that I'm speaking, but not, that sounds like so narcissistic. What I meant was, when you have multiple people on the podcast, you don't have to be the one that's always talking. You can take a little bit of break while somebody else is discussing something.
Right. And that is absolutely a skill to develop, though, being able to just speak on a subject and just keep going by yourself. So I can see see how that takes some time to be able to do.
I got to clear my throat too much for that to happen. I edit out so many in the background. You don't even know. I just get away from the mic and cough it up and
most of the editing work.
Yeah. Right. So as always, though, we're going to at least start the show off with kind of the quick things about what we've been up to. You want to tell us what's going on since last episode?
Sure. I've played a few games, not ones that we're necessarily reviewing, but just a quick mention. I've played these games
1 million times of Llama.
Honestly, well, not 1 million, but it feels maybe. I've actually played Llama 27 times since the last time we were on.
And each time you play it, you feel like you play it 5 times. Or 10 times.
Oh man, my 97-year-old grandmother loves this game. She loves it. It is the game every night. Several games of Llama. And
man, she's pretty sharp to play Llama and be 97. That's impressive.
She's I definitely, I'm happy that she's doing so well. We've played a couple other games, but she wants them to have rules that are just as simple as Llama. So yeah, she's sharp, but she likes to keep it where it's pretty straightforward. And Llama is exactly her speed.
What about Can't Stop?
Oh, that would be a good one. I'm looking for ideas,
Yeah. I mean, the pool, if you get out of the classic games, the pool is kind of,
yeah, I need some variety because I'm getting llamaed out, but she is not.
Ironically, I just bought it.
Well,
I was at Barnes and Noble and they had it for $10.
Yeah. Well, be careful. Be careful what you wish for because man, she loves it.
Yeah, I think Can't Stop would be a good one.
That would be.
Basically is just gambling.
Yeah, I've had her. We've also played this card game called 5211, and it's a bizarre name, but what it means is you get 5 cards in your hand, then you play 2 cards, then you play 1 card, and then you play 1 card, and that's it. So that's pretty straightforward, and she likes that one.
And that's the end of the game?
Well, no, you do that over and over. You do that about 4 times, and you score points at the end of each of those sets. And the interesting thing about the game is you score based on the majority of card colors that are out there. And there's five or six card colors in the game. So when you play your first 2 cards, you have no idea what anyone's going to play. But let's say I lay down 2 green cards and then somebody else put down a green and a pink. Well, now there's 3 green cards out there already. So do I want to play my 1 green card if I'm going to play my next 1 card? But the problem is if you go over a certain number of cards based on the number of players, you'll bust. That color will bust and you'll score nothing for it. So you have to, weigh the decision. Who's going to play what? And am I trying to, you can play to make something bust on purpose so that your second color is actually the one that scores. It's pretty good. 5-2-1-1.
We'll have to try that one out.
No, I liked it.
Does she like trick-taking games? I mean, does she play like hearts and spades?
I haven't tried her on that. I don't know, because there's a trick-taking game that I learned when I was in Ireland, and it's called 31, and it's played in Kerry, and it's got a lot of rules. Like, there's a lot to that one. And so I was...
Well, what about something like Diamonds?
Just telling her about 31 the other day because I texted my cousin and I got the rules. So I was excited about it. So I was just telling everyone at the dinner table, and I just talking about it. My grandma was like, yeah, no, too much. So now I think, trick taking games she may not be into just because she's going to think they're all like that.
Yeah. The weird thing about trick taking games, right? Because in the very beginning we played them and I don't know if I really like them.
Yeah.
But it's one of those mechanisms that once you understand,
it takes a little while.
People are just, it takes a little while to get the concept and the strategy of what you're doing. Because there is some strategy there. Like, what cards do you just burn if you can? Like, it comes down to, like, depending on the game, obviously. Do I burn this? Because I can't win this trick. Do I burn the 4 or the 5? That is, or not 4 and 5, but maybe the 4 or the 6.
Right, whatever it is, depending on the game, yeah.
Right. But you don't think about, like, the strategy of that because, do you just play the lowest card you can? Nah, not quite. Depends, because you might want to not win any of those tricks for that color and just go out so you can use it as a burn color and always like play off cards to get them out of your hand, basically. Yeah. So it's just like kind of a cool thing. And then trick taking games are basically the same mechanism with variants.
And so many variants. And people that really know trick taking games, they get so good at it that when we're playing 31, you could deal out all the cards and then someone looks at their hand and they go, well, I just won every trick. You know what I mean? And it's like, okay, well, we don't need to play this out because they're right.
I feel like that happens a lot in euchre.
It may. It's some of these games. Yeah, it just happens and that's the way it goes. It's interesting, but I don't know. I think I may have turned her off of the trick taking games, but I think Can't Stop is a good shout. That would be a good one to try.
Yeah, Can't Stop, or some kind of a gambling style game.
Yeah.
Like a Yahtzee style game.
Yeah, she likes the high luck kind of games, obviously, because Llama has a good deal of it.
Yeah, does she like rolling dice? Like, do you
we haven't
dice games?
So I'll have to try her out on that next. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe probe her. See, like, what do you think about Yahtzee?
Yeah.
I like Yahtzee a lot, though. I mean, that's like a long time ago we did a top 5 guilty pleasures, and it was one of mine.
Okay, right. Yeah, I think she would like that. I think she would. And she probably knows that game. That's been around, I'm sure she's played Yahtzee.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so there was that one. And then I just want to mention there was a game that we talked about on one of our episodes of upcoming games that we were looking forward to. And this was a German game called Spookstaben. That was a tower defense game with these spooks that would come and steal your letters from your typing machine. And you had to like use words to almost like magic spells to hit the ghosts as they were on their way out the door with these things. So it's tower defense. You're trying to get your letters back. And so if you spell a word that uses the letter that the ghost is carrying, it's going to get hit. And when the ghost runs out of hit points, then it's gone. You get your letter back. And so it's straight up tower defense, but a spelling word game. And it was in German, so I took it. I went ahead and ordered it. It arrived, and I translated it into English and substituted all of the letters for English letters that have the same frequency in the language, and played that. My grandma played that with me and my parents, and we had a great time. It worked great. I really think it's a good game. I think that should definitely be translated into English and sold over here. And if it's not, take the time and do it. Good game.
That's pretty cool. I wonder if they have any plans for an international edition or
I'm hoping so.
Like an English release.
Yeah, I really hope so because it's such a cute idea, you know.
Yeah.
It works well.
Nice. Anything else?
Let's see. Switch and Signal is a game that is a train game that's a pick up and deliver co-op game. Kat and I played that one on Tabletop Simulator. I think it was Tabletop Simulator. Might have been Tabletop, yeah. But anyway, we lost desperately. That is a hard, a very hard game with a whole lot of luck going on, or we just do not have the concept. We're looking forward to playing that one again and trying to do better because, man, it was not close. Which is a good thing.
That's good. You don't want to you don't want to win the first time. I feel like you beat a co-op game if you win the first time.
Absolutely. So this one has some legs. It could be good. If you like train games and you like pick up and deliver and you like co-ops, man, this is your game.
Yeah, which is kind of a conundrum because if I play a co-op and I lose the first time, I'm like, was it too hard? You know, because you don't want to always expect to lose.
Yes.
Yeah, it's just a weird paradigm to be in.
Yeah. Well,
I don't want to win the first time because I feel like I don't need to play the game again.
But you don't want to get crushed either.
Yeah, but you don't want to get crushed because you're like, is it just being punishing to be punishing?
Yeah.
Kind of interesting.
Exactly. So what about you? Cool. What have you got going on?
So I've not many board games, although we have been playing games with my son when my mom comes over. We play like family board game at night every other Tuesday. And he's played Uno now. So I've played Uno recently. I've played Uno since I started tracking games in 2011 on my app. So pretty neat. It still is garbage.
Well, yeah, but you could move up to Llama then.
Exactly. That's why I bought Llama.
Nice.
We'll see. The good thing about Uno for my son is that it is kind of mindless. It's like, do you have a red card or a 4?
Right.
It's like, those are your options other than wilds.
Yeah.
So he doesn't have to like think too hard. He just plays whatever. My mom got him. It's so cute. He got him the card holder that looks like a fan that you would fan your face with.
Oh yeah. Is that the Game Right? Is that the company?
I think it's a Doyle one.
Okay.
Like the, playing card company or whatever.
Those are so handy for little kids.
Oh, actually it's a bicycle.
Okay.
But yeah. For a little kid, he's just holding it. And he's like staring at it contently, like, And he's got all these cards. And he's like, hang on, let me spread them out and stuff. I think that was even that was worth playing Uno again, simply just
there you go. Yeah.
That.
Oh, that's great.
He really likes Spinderella, which is a fantastic game.
Yes.
Although I will say there is one thing I don't like about the game. The die, if you're not familiar, basically there's these magnetic spiders that are up on this 3D environment. And when you roll the dice, you got one of 3 things that'll happen. Either you get to move one of your ants and you're trying to go across from like basically one side of the board to the other, along this path and to get to the food. If you roll a leaf, you get to move this tree stump that kind of goes on a spot and it can go on top of ants to protect them or even to stop them from moving.
Right.
And the last thing is you can roll a spider. And if you roll a spider, then you get to move the spiders up on the top. Well, the 2 spiders are connected by the string and it has a magnet that hangs down one of the other spiders. And so he like drops down and like grabs the ants and returns them to start. Basically.
Oh, it's so clever. The length of the string that drops down is based upon the distance between the 2 spiders on top. So clever.
Yeah. So fun. It has a table presence that's crazy for kids.
Yeah.
Because it's got all these really chunky, like Haba style pieces everywhere.
This is one of those kids games. Sorry, this is one of those kids games that is fun for adults. If you don't have any kids around, you're going to enjoy this game anyway.
Absolutely. The first time we played it was with no kids.
Yeah.
And I bought the game. My son wasn't even like 2 maybe. I was like, I'm going to buy it. I'm going to hold on to it for many years.
Nice.
So now we got to play it. This is the second time he's played it. The one thing though is that die that says if you can move an ant or spider or the log has 2 symbols of each one. The problem with that is that log is really annoying to have to move because on your turn, if you roll and you get the log, your turn's essentially wasted if you don't have anywhere good to put the log.
Yep.
So I feel like there should have been just one symbol with the log and maybe another ant. But at the same time, maybe not the ant because then there'd be a lot more getting the ants across without the spider coming down to get them.
Right.
Because the spider doesn't always catch an ant each time it's rolled, because there's another die that has like how many times you can move the spiders on top. And it may not be enough to get them to drop the other spider down low enough.
Yeah, you could house rule, I don't know, something else in its place, but it is a dice game. You can just get hosed by the dice.
You can, yeah. We kind of started doing something. I don't know if it's good or not. For a kid, it's fine. Because I don't want Theron to always roll like the stump and like have no fun with moving the ants.
Yeah.
So my idea was, if you roll the stump, then you get to move an ant, but only half the distance of the 6-sided die that's rolled.
Okay. Yeah.
So I was like, he doesn't really count the pips so much right now, but if he rolls a 5, I'm like, okay, you can move 3. If he rolls a 2, it's like, okay, you can move an ant 1 or you can move the stump.
Yep.
So it just gives him more opportunities, but the ants aren't flying across the table at that point because it's half speed.
That sounds like a good house rule to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it.
Other than that, though, it was his birthday, and it was, I think, man, when did the other episode record? It might have been my birthday too.
That's right.
Yeah, because it's my birthday and my son's birthday. My wife's birthday is within 2 weeks of each other. So it's like my birthday, his birthday is like 6 days later, and then hers is like 7 days after that. And then Drexel's is like 3 weeks after that.
It's like,
so it's like all 4 of us are right there.
Yeah, pre-Christmas.
Yeah, exactly. My mom, well, okay, if you know what Mario Kart Live Circuit is, this is basically Mario Kart, but it's a 3D, it's like an RC model of Mario with a camera that connects to your Switch, and you set up a course in your house and drive around it. It has augmented reality on the Switch.
What?
Where it has all the other racers, and you're still shooting turtle shells at each other. And it'll disable your cart and it'll just stop.
Oh, man.
Dude, this thing is phenomenal.
That sounds so fun. I've never heard of this.
Dude, it came out at the very end of August. Or, the very end of October. And so I was like, man, I told my brother, I was like, I really want to get this for Theron, or really I just want to buy it for myself and like play it with Theron.
Yeah.
Just if you see one, let me know, because he's always finding things, right? He's the king of finding stuff.
Okay.
And this thing was super hard to find. He ended up finding a copy, and he ended up buying 2. He bought Mario and Luigi, and I was like, I don't have 2 Switches, Brian. He's like, oh, well, yeah, that's a problem. So he ends up telling my mom, and she's like, well, I bought Theron a Switch. I'm like, okay,
goodness.
we got a 5-year-old who's going to have a Nintendo Switch. This is interesting. I'm all for this. I don't care. I will limit the screen time to be a good parent, but I am all for video games. Anyway, my brother's like, well, actually, I found another one, so I bought one for myself because he had a Switch as well. Fast forward to Theron's birthday. We have 3 of these sets. We set up.
That's so good.
It basically comes with, it comes with one of these the Mario or Luigi cars with the camera. And it comes with these 4 gates that are cardboard that unfold and make this huge gate. They're like maybe like 2 feet wide.
Yeah.
And it comes with 4 of those. You set them up however you want. You start the game or whatever. Everybody joins the same multiplayer game, and then you create a track and you drive your car the track you want it to create, and it makes the track in augmented reality.
Just through your house. That's so cool.
Through my house. Yeah, around the kitchen table, into the living room. I have an area rug because it's hardwood floors. So it kind of slows your cart down and it kind of bumps and stuff. Dude, the game's the terrain in real life becomes the obstacles in the game.
Yeah.
I even saw online people were using like energy drinks that were full and sitting them down to make like, if you want to take this shortcut, you can, but if there's all these energy drinks you have to dodge. Dude, it is so awesome.
That's so good.
And yeah, I don't know if you're familiar with the Nintendo Labo stuff, but basically it's cardboard and it has like, augmented reality stuff printed on it for the game, the cameras to sense it and then put 3D graphics over it. So when you are driving up on the gate looks like some crazy thing from Mario.
Oh man. That's
like
so cool.
When you're looking at your screen, it's got all this stuff on it, right?
Yeah.
Like a finishing line gate at a NASCAR race or something. It's all elaborate. And you have like 5 or 6, I think it's up to 8 players, or it's 4 players, but it puts up to 8 people in the game. So you have all these like computer controlled opponents flying around you and stuff too. And the gates are actually where you get the item boxes. So as you drive through it, you get an item box. It's like, it gives you a mushroom, whatever, which is awesome because when you hit the mushroom, your cart speeds up. Like in real life.
In real life.
Like it's
That's amazing. And
dude, it is so good.
so you have all these computer things, these computer cars that you're against, but then you have just a few player real cars that you're also against. So,
which you can bump into and knock off the track and all kinds of stuff.
But you can't do that to the computer cars, really. Or like,
not real. I mean, you hit them and stuff and they move.
But like if your cat goes and stops one of the cars, you know, it's
or your 2-year-old.
Yeah, they can't mess with the computer guys. They can only mess with you.
Exactly. And on top of that, dude, it's got all kinds of crazy stuff. It creates stages or whatever. And one of them's like this, kind of looks like a Wild West movie where it's all this dust storm flying.
Oh, man.
And it forces your cart to lean with the wind. So you're like fighting your cart. It's like, It is so well done. You can even, you ever play Mario Kart games?
I played the Mario Kart. Yeah. Just the regular, like Nintendo.
Okay. You know how like you can go around a corner and then do the little bunny hop and skid? It's like you're drifting or whatever.
Yeah. You
can do that with these.
And your car hops?
It doesn't hop, but like the skid, it like the way it does the actual cart is it mimics a drift.
Huh.
It is phenomenal. On top of that, what was I going to say? On top of that, the carts, like if you're looking through your screen, right? And the way that the field of view is, you're flying. You feel like you are going so fast, and you look over at your cart in real life,
and it is just,
man, dude, it is the most funny thing ever.
It's just putting along, but you think it's flying. Yeah,
it's putting along, but you're like, oh, I could talk all day about this thing. It is absolutely worth it. It's about $100. I think it's $99 for a set.
Okay.
The game is free to download, but you're basically paying for the carts and the gates and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it is absolutely worth it. Obviously, everybody needs a Nintendo Switch. So there's a cost on that, but I mean, that's kind of just an obvious thing.
I'd never really considered the Switch as something I needed to have, you know, and I thought, why would I get a Switch if I have a PlayStation 4 or something like that? But I guess this is the reason. It's something that the other doesn't have.
I've always been a console game, like a handheld console gamer. Like I own like a lot of handheld consoles.
Yeah.
And I think that with the Switch, what's really cool about it is that you can just leave it docked and just play it on your TV 100% of the time. But if you're somebody who likes to travel and do things, you can just pop that off the dock, take it with you. You can even take the dock because it's just like, it's not very big. It's maybe like 4 or 5 times thicker than your phone.
Okay.
It's not a huge thing. You can just throw it in the backpack, take an HDMI cable. You're at a hotel, plug it in, play on the big screen, or just handheld it, whatever you want to do. But the Switch is amazing. It is fantastic. Everything about it is great. I like my PS4, and if I get a PS5 at some point, I know I'm going to love it. But handheld gaming has always been my kind of passion or whatever. And this thing is phenomenal because it does both.
Yeah, yeah. I'm really excited about what you're describing. My favorite thing with consoles has always been the combination of reality, real world, with the game itself. And on the PS3, my favorite program that I've ever had for PS2, 3, 4, anything was this game called Kinetica. And it was a game where you were on the camera and you were like boxing and kicking things as the game. So it was a workout, but you had things like rolling down the screen that you had to run across the room and hit and then go to the other side and hit them, or you had to jump things that were coming at your feet or just various physical activity things.
Did this use the PlayStation Moves or just the camera?
This just used the camera.
Okay.
Yeah. And it could sense you. You put on dark clothing and it would see you.
That's awesome. Yeah. I love that stuff. That's the whole reason why I like VR. That's the whole reason why on the PS3, I loved the PlayStation Move.
Yeah.
Because it was like a more advanced Nintendo Wii.
Yeah, yeah.
In that aspect. And with the Switch, if you have the Nintendo Switch, the big one, not the Lite. The Lite is strictly just a handheld game system.
Okay.
But the main Switch, you actually take the controllers off the side, you can use them and swing them around and stuff, and they're all like, you can play dance games where you're holding them. There's also like a Ring Fit system where you can put on this ring and you're like doing exercises, but it's like an RPG at the same time.
Oh, that's cool. See, that's what I would like.
Yeah, I honestly think if you were going to get a console, the Switch would be the way to go because it has so many cool things. And I am floored by how well the Switch is. I mean, just as a console and everything you can do with it.
Yeah.
I wasn't a big fan of the Wii. I hated the Wii U. I was just like, this is stupid. You're all just, the Wii was really fun in the beginning, but then it just kind of got gimmicky because the controllers
limited.
were really, yeah. And then the PlayStation Move came out, and even though it didn't do as well, I thought it was superior. So I just never got, I was a Nintendo fanboy all the way up until the GameCube. And then when the Wii came out, I dropped off and went PlayStation. But the Nintendo Switch, I absolutely love. Of course, at this time, being an adult at this point, I can add them all. I don't have to pick and choose, Nintendo or Sony, all of them.
Right.
It's like, I don't care.
I'm going to budget. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if I get a Wii now, I'll get a Xbox, 6 months from now or whatever.
Yeah.
The benefits of being an adult.
Are you looking at any consoles like the PS5 or the
100%? I will get a PS5.
Yeah.
I will buy one if I see one in the vicinity of my eyesight.
It could be a while. It could be a while.
It could be, yeah. Mostly I'm going to do it because it plays all the PS4 games and it utilizes all the VR, and it's an enhancement to the VR.
Yep.
So I'm very, very looking forward to it.
Cool. Yeah.
The last thing I'm going to say real quick, since we're kind of dragging this out, we also started playing Pokemon Go again with my son because I was just like, let's try, he saw a graphic novel I had that I had in a box to go sell to half price.
Right.
I was like, oh yeah, you want to look at it? Cool. So I gave him it, and it was like Pikachu and stuff. Really got excited. Rachel wears a Pikachu shirt, is like a pajama shirt or whatever a lot.
Yeah.
So he's like really interested in Pikachu. So we started playing Pokemon Go. We have put a crazy amount of time into walking around and stuff. You know what Pokemon Go is?
Yeah. Where you walk around and you find like Pokemon out in the real world.
Yes. Talking about a good way to get kids to go on walks. I mean, he is all about this thing.
That's great.
Now he's all about his Nintendo Switch because he just got that a few days ago. But I'm pretty excited to be playing Pokemon Go again.
Very nice.
So I got one news item that I want to bring up, which is half ridiculous, but half cool. Wizards of the Coast released these new sets of land for Magic the Gathering that feature Bob Ross paintings on them instead of normal Magic the Gathering art.
What?
Doesn't that sound absolutely nuts?
All these happy little trees.
Yeah. And it's like they use actual, Bob Ross art for like the swamps and the mountains and the islands and all that stuff.
Oh, that's great.
I think that it says release date March 15th, 2021. It's on the secret layer called Happy Little Gathering. It is kind of expensive, honestly. I don't remember what it was on the there was some other like sets you can get, like foils or whatever, but this one right here, here it is. It's $30 and you get 2 of each land. You literally get 10 cards for $30.
You should get a bunch of blank ones as well, and then you have to like paint your own, because his whole thing was showing you how to make those trees.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah.
I think that this set should have had enough copies to make, because you usually use about 10 land of each color. And if you do like a 2-color deck, you get about, 18 to 20 land in it. Now, obviously you got all those, dual lands and all the specialized land or whatever, but I don't know, $30 for this is kind of nuts. I actually debated on buying this though, and putting it in one of those card frames where you have like a grid of cards.
Yeah.
You put them in hard cases and then you put them up on this like 5x5 grid picture frame.
Put up on your wall. That'd be nice. Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be kind of neat because it's like Bob Ross or whatever.
Yeah.
They have a foil version of it that's $40 for the same amount of cards. I think they're going to be kind of hard to get. I think they're limiting the release on how many copies.
Yeah, and maybe they'll be collectible in the future.
They will be. I mean, everything that Wizards does is they have that set up for that reason.
Yeah.
Pretty neat.
Wonder if this will start any kind of a trend. It'll just keep going. Next, it'll be, I'm trying to think of some other.
Like Picasso.
Well, no, but like someone. Oh no, I guess, yeah, Bob Ross is, yeah. I was going to say someone who's alive, but he's not. So
yeah, I think that's the fun thing about it. Or like another artist who doesn't necessarily do card art or whatever.
Right. Yeah.
The fun thing about him is just, you could picture him, doing a beach scene or a mountain scene, things like that. So it makes a lot of sense.
It does. Yeah. And then, if he would have just done some kind of like monsters or something in the middle.
Yeah. Right. So anyway, look out for that. If you're already a Magic fan, you probably already know, but if you're interested in having some Bob Ross art on Magic cards, check out, it's called The Secret Lair Happy Little Gathering.
Very cool.
Before we move on to some games, we're going to plug a couple of things, ways you can support the show real quick. If you check out MeepleCore.com, click that Humble Bundle partner link in the middle in orange. It will take you to Humble Bundle. Humble Bundle is a site where they support charities. They have a bunch of bundles of games or software, PDFs, books, graphic novels, all kinds of stuff that you can think of that's a digital formats. And they usually have, 10 to 15 items in a bundle for kind of a pay what you want, usually $15 to $25. And it goes to support charity. If you clicked our link, it will also give you, I think like 5% of your total will go to our podcast. There's sliders that you can change all that at the bottom as well. Also, if you go to patreon.com/MeepleCore, you can go there and support the show as well. We're going to have some content coming up there. I promise. I have had that thing set up for a while, but I just don't really know what to do with it right now. And with the kind of way that we're looking in the future with changing the show a little bit, maybe I can think of some really cool ideas to add on there. So check it out, patreon.com/MeepleCore. We are going to have 4 games to talk about on this episode. We have Dokmus, Dinosaur Island, Four Humours, and Castles of Tuscany. So the first game we're going to talk about is called Dokmus.
This is a 2016 game. The designer is Mikko Punakallio. The artist is Markku Lane and Sami Saramaki. And the publisher is Lautapelit.
I like the confidence of your name pronunciation.
Yeah, I have no idea. I'm gonna
like if you weren't paying attention, it's like, man, he knows what he's talking about.
Yeah, he knows those people.
Oh, it's good stuff. I mean, it sounded really good. I was impressed.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, because I would kind of fumble. Not like this person, sorry about your name. Yeah, I mean, just like. Blah.
I'm still sorry about your name. I'm just going to try to make it sound like I know what I'm saying.
That's good. So Dokmus is a game. I don't want to compare it to Kingdom Builder and just immediately set your pace there, but picture a game where you're moving around pieces on an abstract board and you're trying to get next to these locations to get points. That's basically the game. It's abstract strategy. You have these 8 boards that you're going to set up in kind of a grid, like a 3x3 grid, like tic-tac-toe, except the middle board is empty. That slot has no board in it. Each of these boards are I think it's a 7x7 grid of squares that has all these different terrain types in each of the squares. So you have plains, you have mountains, you have forests, you have water, and each player is going to start kind of on a corner board, right? Then you're going to begin. Each round, the way it's going to work is you got these 5 Guardian cards that whoever the start player is going to draft one of those, give the cards to the next player in clockwise order. They're going to draft a card, so on and so forth for all the players. Any extras, you just kind of sit off to the side face down. Then you say, whoever drafted card number 1, reveal it and take your turn. Card number 1 reveals. The power of that Guardian is to take the first player marker for next round. Then you get 3 pieces that you're going to set out on the board. There's always that adjacency, so you have to place adjacent to another piece you already have out there. But you're abiding by all these terrain rules. So like if you place on a plains or like, just a grassy field, nothing happens. But if you want to enter a forest, then you have to place on the forest and sacrifice one of those 3 pieces that you get to play this round. But only when you break into a forest, you can keep putting pieces in the forest as long as you're already in the forest, if that makes sense. You had to, blaze the path to get in there. There's mountains you can't place on, but there's volcanoes you can place on. But at the end of the round, when like your turn's done, any pieces on volcanoes are sacrificed. So it's just a kind of a shortcut way to get past a mountain range. There's a water, lakes or whatever. kind of works like the forest, but once you place a piece on the water and you sacrifice a piece, then you get to move it like a boat as far as you want through the water and then jump up on a piece of land afterwards. Kind of, a shortcut to get around. What you're trying to do, though, is get your pieces next to these temples. There's these red temples and gold temples. They're worth, I think, like 2 victory points and 3 victory points at the end of the game. There's also these ruins that are on each board or most of the boards. When you go there, it gets to activate one of the guardian cards that you were drafting. You can activate any of those powers, essentially. There's a little bit of limitations on that. It just affects that board, whereas the guardian power you can use on any board. And then that's pretty much it for that. As far as the terrain and all that stuff. The other cards, though, the first one will give you first player. The second one will allow you to move a board. So that hole in the middle of the board, the grid of boards, you can move a board into that slot that's horizontally or vertically in the same plane. So not necessarily adjacent, because you could be 2 boards over and move it over to that empty spot, but it's a way to shift the boards around. The other guardian power allow you to rotate a board 90 degrees, and the other guardian power will allow you to move a piece on the board, one of your pieces, somewhere else. And lastly, there is the number 5 card, which allows you to do any of the other guardian powers except for take first player. And then that's pretty much the game. You're going to play it. I think you have, was it 9 turns or something? Because you have 27 pieces. You're placing 3 pieces a turn. I think it's like 8 turns or so. You'll run out of pieces at that point. And then at the end of the game, you're going to get points for being next to these temples. You're going to get points for being on the ruins. You're going to get points for whoever sacrificed the most pieces. There's this, like, a position based on the player count, first place, second place type of thing. There's also, if you have all the temples on a board, then if you're adjacent to all the temples on the board, you get bonus points. And then finally, you get bonus points for having at least 1 temple discovered on every single board. So all 8 boards, which rewards you pretty heavily. I think it's like 27 points for being everywhere. That's the game. It's pretty much an abstract strategy. And let's see what George thought about this one.
This game, you were correct in starting off and saying this. Think of Kingdom Builder, because man, this game is a Kingdom Builder killer. This game is a better Kingdom Builder than Kingdom Builder.
Oh, that's interesting. That's interesting.
So, and I'm not saying both of these or either of those games are great, but I do like this one. I like how tactical it is. It is so satisfying to use those god powers and rotate a board or shift a board over, and suddenly you've changed the landscape literally as to what can happen in this otherwise abstract game. But like you were saying, there is theme to it. You can sail down rivers and you get burned if you go over a volcano. And, the point is...
It's a light theme, but yeah.
It's pretty light. But it works. It works, and it's fun, and it's tactical, and it's so satisfying to play, and it's so much faster than Kingdom Builder.
It is interesting. When we played this, we've only played this one time, right? And I immediately was like, this needs to go into the pit. Oh. Which is, we haven't done it in a while, but Into the Pit is a little segment we do where we pit 2 games that are very similar to each other and see which one comes out on top. This and Kingdom Builder base games, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Need to be put into the pit.
The issue that Kingdom Builder has is you can get a dead card. You can draw a card that you simply cannot use because, or maybe you have one option where you can place, just because of the way that it came out. And in this, you always have a clever option. You always have an interesting thing that you can put together from getting the god card that you want.
Yeah, because you just got your 3 pieces in any adjacency that you want.
Yeah.
I was thinking about this, though. Is the only thing with this game, not trying to compare the two the whole time we're talking, but the thing about this game is you have essentially 3 powers, right? Because the first Guardian card is just take first player. The last Guardian card is to do the other 3. So you have only 3 powers in this game.
Right.
But then I started thinking on Kingdom Builder base game, at least, you only have 4 powers that exist on the map at any time you play, which is, each board gets 1 of those tiles you can get.
Right.
Now you might be able to get 2 of each one, but there's only 4 abilities available to you each game. So there's a little bit more variety on the powers in that than there are in this. But it's interesting because I like the ability to draft the cards, because, taking the card that moves a board may not be as powerful to me as it would be to you, because you're needing to spread out to that board over there and you need to move this board to get there.
Right.
I don't need to do that, but I do want to go before you because I don't want you to move that board first. You know what I mean? Like,
exactly.
There's like this weird, it doesn't necessarily say that, 5 is better than 4 and 4 is better than 3, even though you're going later in the round. It's kind of this weird, what position am I in? And what's the value to me on that card compared to somebody else? So I thought that was really cool. And
if I jump on a ruin, I can get an extra power that you might not have taken into account that I'm going to get.
That's true.
Now,
and the idea of just moving the boards and rotating them and stuff and everything changes. You're like, mind blown. Yeah. I just got all the way across the entire board in like 2 moves.
That's so satisfying when that happens. And the key to this game really is getting those temples, getting to those temples, getting next to those temples. And you can block people off and you can make it really difficult on people. There's usually a way around it, but there's a bite to this game as well.
Oh yeah, for sure. For sure. And I do like the scoring as well, because like it gives you have to sacrifice stuff, but it gives you a reason to sacrifice it. Cause maybe I just want to sacrifice so I can stay in first place on the most sacrifices.
Yeah.
Or maybe I'm in last place. So I don't want to sacrifice because there's no way I can sacrifice as much as George.
Right. I need every piece of, land that I can keep. Yeah.
Now, even though we played this on Tabletop Simulator, I own the game. I hate the pieces. Like those triangles are so angled. They're kind of rough to pick up and place.
Yep.
And it's just really interesting. I don't know.
They're dorky.
They're weird. Yeah. I kind of wish they were more of like cylinders or something a little bit easier to pick up.
Dorkless.
I was just trying to pick them up and put them in the bags and I was having problems. I'm pretty in tune with my motor skills, my fine motor skills, painting miniatures and doing all this like interesting miniature work and stuff.
Yeah, and they're awkward.
They're frustrating.
Yeah. So the other thing about the game is the art is very basic. It's garish with the colors, honestly. But so is Kingdom Builder.
Yeah, but which is weird because you look at the box cover and I'm like, I want to play this.
Yeah.
And then you look at the game and you're like, I don't know if I want to play this.
Yeah. It doesn't look great. And it is dry. It is an abstract at its core, but it is an interesting one. It is a fun one. It is a quick one. And, it works for me.
Sweet.
Yeah. I will say, I think it needs 4 players.
Yeah, I do think so because I don't know what the 2-player rules are. Not that I would probably ever play this game 2-player, honestly. But the more players, it is better. That drafting order and stuff really kind of fleshes out that way.
Yeah, exactly.
I am looking forward to playing the expansion called something of Arafel. I forget what it was called. Anyway, it adds some cool stuff to it as well. It's not a whole lot of things. It's actually a really thin box. As a matter of fact, this box comes in a really thin box to begin with. I hate the box size. Honestly,
that's not good.
It's, it almost like if you took Monopoly, like the old school Monopoly, like flat board box and cut it almost in half, maybe like 2/3. It's kind of like that weird shape.
Oh no.
And it's that thin.
Huh. Does the expansion add some more god powers, or do you have any idea what it
It adds one more god power. It also adds more boards. The boards actually have roads. And when you place on the road, you get to move that piece forward on the road 1 space if you want.
Oh, wow.
So, if you place 3 pieces on your turn, one next to each other, you only have 3 squares of length. But if it's all roads, your first one will place down, move once. The second one will place down, move once. Third one will place down and move once. So you essentially have doubled your movement. Oh, man.
Yeah, that sounds interesting.
Pretty cool stuff. And there's like, it relies around like the 4 seasons or something. There's these 2 other boards that have like 2 seasons, 1 on each side.
Okay.
I haven't actually read the rules to that. But I am kind of looking forward to it.
All right. Yeah, me too. This sounds like it adds something to the game.
All right. Anything you want to wrap up with? Or are you good?
I liked it.
Yeah, I liked it enough to buy it. So, all right. Anyway, that is Dokmus. The second game we have on this podcast is Dinosaur Island.
This is a 2017 game. The designers are Jonathan Gilmore and Brian Lewis. The artists are Kwan Chai Moria, Peter Walken, and Anthony Walken, and the publisher is Pandasaurus Games.
So Dinosaur Island is obviously heavily influenced by Jurassic Park theme. And this is kind of what you're doing in this game. You're trying to build this Jurassic Park or this, amusement park with dinosaurs, try to get people to come in to see the dinosaurs, get victory points off of them in the form of them being entertained. The way the game plays, though, is you have 4 phases that you're going to run through. The first phase, there's all these dice that are rolled. My southern accent coming out there. You're going to roll all these dice. These have different DNAs on them. There are 6 different types of DNA, 3 common, 3 uncommon, or rare. And those are lined up. Depending on the player count, you have so many of those dice. There's also these 3 spots to bid or to grab a dinosaur pin. I guess it's like a kind of like the what DNAs you need to make the dinosaur, but it's also a piece that you put on your park board, like a building. There's also some other spaces on there, but we'll get to that in a minute. You have 3 scientists of value 1, 2, and then 3, and you're going to draft, or not really draft, but you're going to worker placement, in turn order, either putting one of your scientists on one of these dice or putting a scientist on one of these dinosaur buildings that you're going to get. But to get the dinosaur building, you have to have a 1, 2, or 3 in the first slot, a 2 or 3 on the second slot, or a 3 in the third slot. So if you want that T-Rex, you got to burn your 3-point scientist. The reason that's a big deal is because if you put a 3-point scientist on a die to grab it, you get 3 times the amount. Or if you put a 2, you get 2 times the amount. If you put a 1, you get 1 times the amount. So it's like this back and forth game of, do I want to grab a really good dinosaur den, or do I want to grab a really good dice and times it by a multiplier? You can also not use some of your scientists and use them as workers, like extra workers in one of the future phases. And there's another spot where you can do some kind of conversion with the different DNAs if you want to trade some in, or I can't remember what it was. I didn't use it that much. Do you remember that part? It doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter. That part is very minuscule, I think. Here's all the hardcore people telling me how it's
probably crucial. Yeah, it's crucial.
Yeah, no, boo, you should have been doing that. Once that's finished, everybody's, use all their scientists. You're going to move on to phase 2.
I do remember the other spot was so that you could have extra security, wasn't it?
No, I think that's one of your tasks or whatever it's called on your when you're worker placementing. Okay. So in phase 2, again, I guess I'm not trying to go over every rule anyway.
Yeah.
So we'll just shorten it, I guess. In phase 2, you're essentially going to have up to, I think, 2 purchases to buy from this grid of cards. There's 4 rows of things, and there's 3 columns in each of these rows. And so in row 1, it's like $2 if you want to buy one of these things, then $3, $4, and $5. And each column, which, so if you want to spend $3, you have 3 choices. You have a card that will go onto your player board as like these objectives that you're going to put worker placement spots that you're going to use your workers on. There's also a thing that you can buy that you'll put into your amusement park, such as like a sunglasses hut or some kind of restaurant, things like that, for more places for the amusement park goers to go to. And the third option you have is to buy an assistant, and you can have up to 3 of these. They might give you more workers or special abilities. And once everybody's made their 2 actions on this, then phase 3 is basically your worker placement phase. You're going to take your workers and place them out on these different options you have on your board, such as maybe you can trade in DNA from 2 of one type to another type or whatever it is. There's a grid on that thing that you can do a trade matrix, I guess you want to say. There's the ability to get new dinosaurs. You can, build dinosaurs, I guess, is what you're really doing because you're spending the DNA to do so. You can increase your security. There's other things you could do as you buy more of those upgrades to do different actions. Then you're going to move on to phase 4, which is where the guys, the amusement park goers will come to your amusement park or your Jurassic Park. Based on your excitement level, that's how many meeples you draw out of this bag. The only difference is there's some meeples that are kind of hooligans and they don't pay to come to your place. But otherwise, you're going to grab meeples and put them in your park on these different spots, and they'll score you victory points and get you money, things like that. Your excitement level rises when you get more dinosaurs, but so does your risk factor. And also whatever dice aren't drafted in the very first phase, they have dots on them, and the highest value dot gets applied temporarily to the risk factor for that round. So you kind of put that in consideration, because if you have too many risky factors, and say the risk factor is like a 7, but your security is only at a 5, 2 of those amusement park goers are going to get killed. Anyway, you're going to keep doing this. That's one full round, and you're going to go back and do it all again, all 4 phases. As people are doing stuff, they're going to fulfill these achievements. When so many of those achievements have been taken up, the game will end at the end of the round. Tons of points have already been scored, but you got points for other things as well. And obviously, whoever has the most points is the winner. So I guess I'll begin this one. Here's what I'll say immediately. The hooligans, I don't feel like added anything to the game, and they were kind of annoying. Maybe that's the point. Maybe that's the point, that the hooligans are supposed to be annoying. I just actually would have been more interested, and maybe there's an expansion. I haven't really looked into the expansions, but it would be cool if there was different types of meeples to pull out of the bag instead of just majority normal guys and then some small chance of getting hooligans.
Yeah, I didn't like the hooligans either. I'll just jump in here real quick. The hooligans make no sense to me, because you have enough security to manage a dinosaur park and keep dinosaurs, I guess, from eating people, but you don't have enough security to just keep out some hooligans. Yeah,
they don't pay to enter.
What?
Which it doesn't make any sense to me, because they don't score you any points either, but it's like they're getting enjoyment. They just didn't pay to get there. So let me don't get the income, but still get the enjoyment victory points out of them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, maybe don't call them hooligans. Call them like VIPs who just got brought in without paying, celebrities.
Yeah,
call them celebrities.
They won tickets on radio shows and stuff.
Yeah.
So other than that, and honestly, the absolutely atrocious color scheme to the whole game.
Absolutely agree. God.
I'm not a fan. I totally get it though, that old 90s vibe with the coloring and stuff.
Yeah.
Just not, it doesn't doesn't do anything for me, but
it wasn't good in the 90s, and it's not good now.
Right. I don't want to sound like I'm trashing the game though, because the game is actually really good, and I had a absolute blast playing this thing. I love the dice system. Kind of reminds me of Seasons, where there's all these dice and you're kind of drafting them, but the kicker there is the fact that you could put like a 3 scientists and get 3 times this crazy die that's out there.
Right.
Which sounds really good. But then somebody uses a 3 die to get like a Tyrannosaurus Rex den that's giving them a ton of points. So it's just this really cool aspect. I mean, I guess turn order could really matter there, because the turn order was like whoever was doing the worst goes first, basically. It's like the...
Oh, yeah, on the score track.
Yeah, on the score track. So if you're not ahead really well, then you get to go first a lot. So, you get dibs on drafting those really, really nice dice, because the dice are not created equally.
They are not. And that's kind of a ding for the game for me, is that it's very often it's do the obvious. This die is better. Take that one.
Especially with the dice, yes. So if the dinosaurs are not factored in there, which I kind of feel like you have to, though, the dinosaur dens, but not everybody needs dinosaur dens every round. So,
right.
But yeah, I agree. There is very obvious choices, but there was times when I needed like a certain color, or I can get like triple the amount of this other color that I'm not using. I don't know. It's kind of interesting.
I was talking with a friend of mine named Dustin, and he had a solution to the turn order issue that I don't know if he came up with this himself or if he read it somewhere online, but the idea is house rule. You play turn order based on the order in which people play their one scientist, their weakest scientist.
Oh, that's interesting.
That determines the turn order, and it changes before phase 2, so that then when you do the drafting, it does it in that order.
I mean, it sounds like a cool idea.
Yeah, it does. It does sound pretty interesting. I'd definitely try
My
it.
only concern with that is, like, say you're doing really well and you have a ton of victory points and you just always happen to play your number one scientist in the way that allows you to go first.
Well, wouldn't that...
Well, I guess that, whatever. We're just talking hypothetical at this point, but it's an interesting idea for sure.
Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't really care. I wasn't really, did you not like the turn order thing?
No, it didn't bother me. This is just his comment. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
if it bothers some people, okay,
Yeah, I'd like to hear the idea behind that, because I actually thought the turn order thing was pretty well done.
Yeah. You liked the game a good deal more than I did, and it could be that the art bothers me more than it does you.
To me, though, like, I could see past the art and kind of separate the two. Like, if it's art I don't care about or a theme I don't really care about, it's like, I just straight up focus on the mechanisms, and I do like a lot of the mechanisms that's going on.
I felt a little overwhelmed by the sheer variety of mechanisms. You're
playing 4 games that kind of overlap a little bit.
Yeah, there's worker placement, and now we're drafting, and now we're doing action point allowance. Like, do you know what I mean? It's like all in one game.
Yeah, if you want to teach somebody who doesn't play a lot of games and expose them to a lot of the core mechanisms that a lot of games use, this is a really good idea for that, because the game really is not that hard of a game.
No, each of the segments is not difficult. That's true.
Correct. They're, trying to overlap them strategically to make the best use of it all. There's a little bit of strategy and depth to that, which your first play you might not do as well on, especially if you're not played these type of games. But you're going to be exposed to, you're right, dice drafting. You're going to be exposed to worker placement. You're going to be exposed to building, like city building, essentially, because the park is kind of like building a city in a way.
And you get a little tableau with these assistants kind of thing going on.
Yeah, exactly. So it's got a lot of cool stuff kind of mashed into one game.
It really does. And yet, having said that, what I really wish is that there was just a little more mashed in, because I wish that the dinosaurs were unique, that the dinosaurs did something, that the dinosaurs felt like different dinosaurs in some way.
Yeah, all they are is an excitement value and a victory point value.
Yeah, that's just boring.
Oh, and a different layout of what DNA you need to make them.
This didn't give me the feel or excitement of having dinosaurs. I'm sorry. It's just...
That's true, but I guess it's more about having a park. You're building that park, and the dinosaurs are just kind of there, stuck in a cage.
Right. And I earlier in this episode, I was comparing Dokmus to Kingdom Builder. Now I have to compare this to Dinogenics, which I feel is a superior game, just because those dinosaurs, you roll dice and they break down fences and they bite people and they go on rampages. Like, they do things. So it just didn't have that kind of excitement. It might be a better game in terms of its design, and certainly in terms of all the mechanisms that are in there.
Yeah, you're focusing on the sequel where the dinosaurs actually break out.
Yeah.
This is like, we're making money off the park right now.
Right. Yeah. It's the wrong movie.
Yeah, right. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. But no, I don't know.
But
I really enjoyed
that kind of build a thing Euro, it is good. There's nothing objectionable about the game, really. It flows. It does what it does. It's just, it's not what I wanted from it, I think, is what I'm saying.
No, that's fair. Well, and then there's one other thing I thought was pretty cool that I forgot to mention in the explanation, but there's also these 2 cards that are flipped out. They kind of change the game each time you play it. So even though you're playing the game again and you're seeing like a different layout of the dice or the cards that you can purchase and the upgrades and all that stuff, there are also these game changers that you can play with that will do stuff. Like one of the ones we had was at the end of the dice drafting thing. Everybody gets to upgrade your laboratory, like frozen stuff for one of the whatever the 6 DNAs that you're carrying.
Yes.
Because you can only cold storage so many of each one.
That's the thing. That was the extra thing that we couldn't think of that you could use your workers, your scientists to do.
Oh yeah. You can upgrade the
cold storage.
Yeah. Whereas we didn't do it that much because our game had it
for
free.
You
get one for free at the end of that phase. So I thought those were pretty cool because each time you play the game, you flip out 2 of those cards, and I mean, that could dramatically change the strategy, make certain portions more strong than others.
Yeah.
But only for that context of that game. Really cool. Typically that stuff's optional. I think that was a really good idea that to throw it in every time, even if you've never played the game. I don't think it changes it that much, but we haven't played with all of them, so who knows?
Yeah.
Or any every combination. Some of those combinations hopefully aren't too brutal. So
yeah, this was good. It was good. It's not my style of game.
Yeah,
but for people who like this style of game, they're gonna like it.
I'm glad we finally got to play it because I've seen a lot of good things about it. I enjoyed it quite a bit. I'll pick this one up eventually, and yeah, I like it. So
okay.
Any final thoughts for you, or?
Just a quick question. If you look at Jonathan Gilmour's other games, he's got Dead of Winter and he's got Wasteland Express.
Vault Wars. Actually, you don't even need to tell me anything else about his games. He's got Vault Wars. That game is phenomenal. I'm sorry. Okay. It's so fun.
So is this his top game for you or no? It's Vault Wars.
I mean, if I had to like say what game is his best game, this might be his best game.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. Wasteland Delivery Express service or whatever. That's a really good game.
Yes, and Dead of Winter is really fun as well.
Yeah, Dead of Winter is really good. It has some problems, with certain scenarios and things like that. So, I mean, if you're getting nitpicky, I think Dinosaur Island, obviously Dead of Winter is an earlier game and this is a later game. Let me click on his name here. In full disclosure, I know John. He's a really good guy. I didn't realize he had so many games. I forgot he did all the Asteroid and Centipede and stuff.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, he's did a lot of stuff. I mean, a lot of these are promo cards. He's got Dinosaur Island. He's got the newer Dinosaur.
Yeah, there's some expansions for this.
Yeah.
Of course.
Mental Block. Did you like that one?
No, it wasn't. Sorry, it wasn't my favorite. No.
Path of Light and Shadow. That's
I did enjoy that one. I did like Path of Light and Shadow. Yeah.
Now it's no longer a review of Dinosaur Island. It's a review of John Gilmour games. My favorite game of his, just to kind of wrap it up, would have to be Vault Wars. I think this is probably his best design game.
Okay.
If I'm just like throwing it out there real quick without doing a lot of thought.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
Very cool.
All right. Well, anyway, that is Dinosaur Island. Check it out. So the third game we have on this episode is a game called Four Humours.
This is a recent Kickstarter game releasing in 2021. The designer is Charlie McCarran, the artist Shirley Gong, and the publisher is Adam's Apple Games.
And I should mention that this is not a Kickstarter preview or anything like that. We have no affiliation with Adam's Apple Games, other than they make some great games like Sword Crafters. I'm sorry, the game is fantastic.
I have not played that one. I would need to play it.
It's so fun. So Four Humours is interesting to me because it deals around the four humors. As I told my wife, I told her the four temperaments. Apparently the four temperaments were called the Four Humours back in this era of time. Did you know that?
I did. This 15th century. Yep.
Well, I didn't know that. So I learned something new. You're talking about the choleric, sanguine, melancholic, and phlegmatic temperaments. What you do in this game, though, is it's kind of like an area control game. In the middle of the board, you're going to have these 6 islands. Each island has like 5 or 6 locations, and you're going to shuffle them up, make a grid of 2x3 or 3x2. And so you got the 6 islands out there. You're going to flip over 4 cards. Each card represents one location on this island. So maybe the castle location, you have the latrine or whatever. Each card has, roughly 3 to 6 spots on it or so that you're going to put tokens on. So in your bag, you're going to have kind of this distribution of the 4 temperaments or the 4
humors.
Humors. Sorry. You're going to draw 4 of those into your hand. No one else gets to see that. And then in turn order, you're going to take turns placing one of these pieces face down on a spot on one of the 4 cards that are out. Except there is a limitation. Like there's always 2 options for each thing. So maybe you could put like a melancholic or a sanguine on this spot, or maybe you can put the choleric or phlegmatic on this other spot or whatever. Right. It shows you the two tokens that you can put in that spot.
Right. All the personality types of people are ruled by a combination of 2 of their humors.
Yeah, exactly. Which is actually when you take the temperament test, it does that too. It tells you you're always like 2 temperaments.
Okay.
Which I am melancholic phlegmatic, by the way. So, and my wife is the other 2. We're absolutely
opposite attract. Yeah.
Exactly. We're like the positive and negative magnet, but when when the 2 wrong ends get next to each other, we fight. It's pretty funny. Anyway, I love her. She's great. When 2 of these cards get filled up with spots, you're going to pause and then resolve all 4 cards.
Yes.
So even a card that's not filled up or even has anything on it, it'll get resolved as well. You flip over all the tokens, and then there's this scoring process or like a resolution kind of matrix that you go through.
Yes.
That will tell who wins. So typically if there is one choleric symbol, that player wins that card.
Yes.
If there's 2 or more, you skip that, you move on to sanguine. If there's 2 sanguine symbols
or more,
the sanguines win it. All those players get to take their tokens and put it on the same spot on the main board.
Right. So you can have more than one token on a spot that people can win together.
Yes. Melancholic, if there are, if there's 2 books,
yep, they
both win. Otherwise, if there's 1 book, if there's 1 player with melancholic, they don't win that spot, but they get to go somewhere else.
Yeah, they withdraw.
Like, I'm done with this.
They withdraw in a lonely, melancholic fashion.
Yeah, to an adjacent location on the main map, and they take that spot over.
Which is great.
Yeah. Finally, if none of those 3 things win, then everyone who has a phlegmatic token down wins that spot together.
Right. So if you get all the way down in that hierarchy to the 1 melancholic leaving, he doesn't win. That still means the phlegmatics win together.
Yeah, you still go to yeah. And so you do this with all 4 cards, and then now you've got tokens out on these different island spots. And that's majority of what the game is, because you want to win these spots. Like, for instance, in one game, you're going to put out these 4 objective cards that you're trying to achieve, like maybe connect 4 locations together, or connect 2 bridge locations, or maybe have a location on all 6 islands, or maybe you have 5 sites with exactly 1 token.
Yeah.
Things like that. Or maybe have like majority of the spaces on 1 island. When you succeed at doing so, you're going to put one of your tokens on that card. And basically whenever somebody scores 2 of the cards, the game will end.
Yeah, there are 2 periods that have special scoring in the game. When the first person puts a token on one of those 4 scoring cards or achievement cards, that's when you score the midday party. And the midday party is a personal board that you have where you can put your tokens onto that board, as well as putting it out onto the 6. It's your choice. By the way, whenever you put a token out onto someplace, either on the board or on the midday party, your own personal board, you redraw from the bag, so you always have 4. And so when that gets scored, it's scored like any other hierarchy. So you just see who's put tokens on their midday party. What are the tokens? If there's 1 choleric, they win that spot. And so there's 2 spots that you can win during the midday party. That there's basically 2 places you could have put your tokens. And then when it scores, those go out on the board. And then when someone gets their second of the 4 achievements done, that's when you score your next personal board, which is the midnight party. So you can't put tokens onto the midnight party until after the midday party is scored. But then you can start putting it on the midnight party. And when someone gets their second achievement, then you score the midnight party, and that's the end of the game.
Yep. So what do you think about this one?
The midnight party, by the way, has 4 places that go out on the board. I really enjoyed this. I have to say, I thought this was a lot of fun. This was really an easy game to play. You just put a thing out and draw out of your bag, and then put something else out, and you're just doing this prisoner's dilemma on every card.
Yeah, on everything.
Like you put a guy out on a heart and you say, oh, I'm going to be sanguine. Yeah, probably. I mean, maybe, because it's 2 things. It could be the other thing that you're putting out there, and you're just saying that you're putting a sanguine. And then you're saying, well, who's going to come with me, because we'll win together. Put another sanguine out here.
It's a lot of double bluffing and trying to get people to follow with you, or you sneak in that I'm just going to put on this card over here because maybe nobody cares about that location right now.
Right.
but the other cards get filled up and then you're the only person with a token on that board, which may not be good for you, honestly, because depending on what token you put, you may not win it anyway.
Yeah, you could be wasting your time. Or maybe you put it on that card, that you don't care about, but you put a single black piece out there, melancholic, so that you're hoping you don't actually win. You just get that one guy and you can move him to another neighboring spot. It's really clever.
Which might give you like a 4 connection to do that achievement or whatever.
Right. And you hit those connections. Once you hit those achievements, then you get to score the parties. Maybe you're going to win some of those, and that'll let you get other achievements. And it just sort of, it can combo, and all of a sudden this game can be over real fast.
Oh yeah. It's actually a decent length. I think we played at 5 players.
Yep. It goes to 6. Goes to 6 players.
Yeah. Let's see. I think we kept track of it. Did we? Man, I like when we keep track of the time.
I don't recall the time, but it was very quick. It ended faster than we realized, and everyone enjoyed it.
It was an hour and a half taut.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was pretty good length.
Yep.
And man, is this Kickstarter still going? This is over with,
It's
right?
just over, yeah.
Yeah.
Do a late back.
I wish I would have backed this one.
Late back.
Huh?
Late backers.
Late backers.
It's going to be good.
I like it. My wife is obsessed with the 4 temperaments and people's, personality types and all that stuff. So really, really cool. I just, as you're explaining the game, I was like, whoa, my mind was exploding because it just made a lot of sense to me because, the cleric people, they're the leaders and the people are out there being like, rah, 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 let's go. And so if they're alone, but if there's 2 or more of them, they're just busy arguing with each other and
so they aren't going to win. That's right. Oh, it's so good.
I will say this. This is one of those games where the theme doesn't matter, but it is heavily involved in the actual game.
Yes. And the art really matters in this game. Not that it matters for the game, but it's done in a style that is, I guess, reminiscent.
Reminiscent of that time frame and when they were calling them humors and like that whole thing.
Yeah.
And even if you look at the cards and what they're doing in the scene, the type of people they are and stuff, they're doing
some funny stuff. They've got some humor going on.
It's got a lot of humor. Yeah.
That's good.
It is really well done. Especially like there's this one where it has like the king and queen in bed.
Yeah.
And they're like, like they can have sanguine, but at the same time, both of them can also be cleric because they both have knives off the side of the bed.
Yeah. And it's called, I forget what that one's called, but like all the names of the cards are pretty good too. So good. I mean, this is really, really well done. You know what? I'll tell you this, out of all the companies that we have played games for and stuff, Adam's Apple Games is one of those companies where if they have a game out, I'm kind of checking it out, right? Because they're publishing some good stuff. I mean, I haven't played a couple other games, but Planet Unknown, phenomenal. Yes. That's a good one. And they've got
Truck Off, the food truck card game. And like, I really like that game. Obviously, Sword Crafters is amazing.
I've not seen the Truck Off game. I'll be honest that the title kind of just turns me off right there, but maybe it's a good game. I don't know.
It's pretty good. It actually is pretty good.
Yeah. So I may have to check it out now that this one has been good. The Planet Unknown is tremendous. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're doing some good stuff.
Good track record. I'm looking forward to this. I will absolutely be buying this game if I cannot already go back and do a late pledge or something.
Yeah, give it a try. The Kickstarter, like I say, it's over now, and they did well with the Kickstarter. They've got tokens that I think the quality of the components is going to be really nice because they've encased their tokens in plastic. Do you know how they have those token protectors? Essentially,
like coin protectors that people are putting tokens in.
Yeah, they're kind of like that, but they're in the player colors as well. So I think
that's cool.
That'll be nice. Yeah.
That's really cool. Man, I see a late pledge notification. I might have to keep that page up for later.
There you go. Yeah.
I don't know what else to say about this game. It's just really, really good. I mean, it's a game that you'll probably have to play a few times to really start to understand the what the ebb and flow of the game and what's going on and you get to know your opponents because Are they just making stuff up? Are they not?
Yeah, get into some table talk with this one for sure.
Yeah, if you're not talking and bluffing and things like that, I think it's going to seem kind of random to you.
Yeah, and it'll seem like nothing. But yeah, if you're talking with people and keeping track of what they're doing and how they're doing it, yeah, it'll be good.
Really good game. I'm buying it.
And it's easy enough. I think my 97-year-old grandmother is going to be able to play this one.
Yeah, exactly. About the only thing that I think that the party, the boards that are in front of you for like the day party or night party or whatever,
yeah,
that stuff, I think some people might ignore for a while because it's like not the primary focus that you're doing.
Yeah.
So it might take you a game or two to kind of wedge that into your strategy, but
you should.
Other than that,
because that's 6 of the locations out on those.
It is. You definitely you can't, forget about those, but at the same time, they're easily forgotten about because they're just kind of sitting off the side where everybody's focusing on the main area of the table.
Yeah. And it's just that's the fun thing to do, Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Anything else?
It's a winner.
This one?
This one's great.
Oh, very, very good. I'm looking forward to this one coming out. Anyway, that is Four Humours. And last up, we have The Castles of Tuscany.
This is a 2020 release. The designer is Stefan Feld. The artists are Angie Steffen and Klaus Steffen, and the publisher is Alea Games.
You're all familiar with Castles of Burgundy. This is the lighter sequel called The Castles of Tuscany. Very reminiscent of what you're doing in Castles of Burgundy. I'm going to quickly go over the core concepts of the game and then we'll talk about it. But basically, you have these boards that are made up of a bunch of hexagons, and you're going to form these into like a map in front of you. So you have to, there's 3 of them and you're going to place them however you want. Probably the first game you play, it doesn't really matter, but as you play the game, it does kind of matter where you place them because you want to put similar colors next to each other, but maybe you don't, et cetera, et cetera. Anyway, in the middle of the board, you're going to have these tiles that players are going to be drafting or like taking. So you have like a few different actions on your turn. You can either take a tile from the middle, and when you do that, you're going to place it into a storage bin on your player board. Then you're going to take the top tile that's face down from your player board and put it up, face up out in the middle for other people to get, or maybe if it comes back around to you. You have 3 stacks of tiles in front of you on your player board. That's important. I'm going to go ahead and talk about that real quick. If any player's first stack runs out of tiles, you're going to stop the game and score. If any player's second stack runs out, you'll do the same. And then when the third stack of any player runs out, so these players can be different for each of these, you're going to stop and score. If the third stack runs out of a player, you're going to stop and end the game. The reason that's important is because I want to tell you how the scoring works, and then I'll explain the rest of the game. When you get points for doing things, you're going to move around on the green circle. When the phase ends, or whenever that scoring round begins, because somebody lost their last tile out of their first stack, there's going to be a score where you take all your green points and convert them to red points. But your green points don't reset. So you keep playing the game. Whenever the second stack runs out of somebody, you're going to score your green again. So if you have 25 points the first phase, and then on the second phase you have 45 points, well, now you've got 45 plus 25. So essentially anything you do in the first phase of the game will score 3 times throughout the game. So you're getting a lot of points up front and you're getting less points as you play. Anyway, back to what the game's about. You're trying to get these tiles to place them on your map on the same color. So if I draft a red tile, I'm going to place it on a red space on my map. In order to place it, though, you got to spin these cards. One of the actions is to draw 2 cards, but you can spin these cards to play the tile onto your board in front of you and activate the action of whatever tile. So there are like 8 different color tiles in the game, and each time you place one of those, it activates. So for instance, like you might place the yellow tile, which is like a city or a market or something, or a city, I think. You get to draw 3 extra cards from the deck, which will make you easier, to play other tiles as you get them. Or maybe you'll place a market card or whatever. It's like a brownish tile. You can draw from this other deck, which will give you some sort of ability or one use thing. Like it might give you more points. It might give you some extra cards. It might give you a stone. If you place a gray tile, it'll give you a stone. Stones basically can be used up as an extra action. There's also the red one. I'm going to talk about that. We don't really have to talk about the rest of them. There's just different actions on those. The red one allows you to buy upgrades. So you can upgrade, for instance, your draw card action. So instead of taking the action to draw 2 cards, now you're drawing 3 or 4 or 5. You can upgrade your action to get these orange dudes. So every time you take or build an orange tile, you're going to get an orange dude. So maybe you'll get more orange dudes or meeples or whatever they are. Those can be used as wilds in place of cards. So there's all this stuff kind of going on that you're getting tiles and placing them out. On top of that, there are these achievements off to the side. So if you fill in all your orange spaces, then you get to get points for that. And you flip that card over. Now there's a second place for that, less points. Whenever somebody scores that, it gets out of the game. That's pretty much the game. It's a simple game. Is there anything else you want to mention real quick before we talk about it?
It's a very simple game. It is called by some Ticket to Burgundy.
That's kind of interesting. I didn't even heard that. If there's anything else that, the other thing is, when I was talking about building your map in front of you at the beginning of the game, the reason you might want to do that is because maybe you want to put all your orange spaces together. Because if you have like a 3-spot space and you fill in all 3 of those oranges that are adjacent, you get more points for doing so.
Yeah.
Because if you put a tile on a single space, like a red space, but there's no other reds adjacent to it, you only get 1 point. If there's 2 adjacent that you fill in, you get 3. If there's 3, you get 6. So there's a reason on that build at the beginning during setup where you want to put adjacent colors next to each other. So
yeah. And just like the way that the points are very front loaded in this game, I think that the setup of this game, the way that you put those boards together and plan out what you're going to do, I think is huge.
So let's go ahead and talk about that. Obviously the elephant in the room is the scoring. You want to start on that?
Oh my God. It is a runaway leader creator. There couldn't be a mechanism that makes that happen more efficiently than this. You times early points times 3, later points times 2, and final points times 1. I think it's dreadful.
Yeah. First off, if you're a fan of the show, you know that me and Eric love Stefan Feld. Number 1 designer for us. We like all his games.
And you know that I don't, so I have no problem saying that it's dreadful.
This game is a massive disappointment. The scoring is crazy how it even got past play testing, and it was a good idea.
Yeah, it's not a good idea. I get it.
On paper, it sounds kind of cool. I'll score a bunch of points up front. Yeah, it doesn't work in this game because it's a lighter game. I think if it was a deeper game with that type of mechanism, it might be better.
Right.
I don't know, man.
Well, you mean like Castles of Burgundy, maybe.
Who cares? A deeper Euro. Take any Euro where, you're getting rewarded for doing crazier stuff up front.
Yeah.
Where I think this game has a little bit too much luck to it with drawing the cards, because I didn't mention this, but when you draw the cards, this is the ticket to ride thing you were talking about, I guess.
Yeah.
In order to place that red tile, you have to have 2 red cards, or you can have a red card and then 2 of another color, like 2 green cards.
Yes.
Because you can use 2 cards of the same color as a wild. So my point is, if you don't have the right cards, you're sitting there for a few rounds drafting new cards where everybody else might have the right stuff. They happen to draw the right cards at the beginning.
Right.
They place all the tiles. When it comes around to their turn, there's another yellow for them. So now they filled up all 3 of their yellows. They get 6 points, which is essentially 18 points at the beginning of the game.
Yes.
There's too much luck for this type of scoring system to be in it. So if you take away the scoring system, I really like the depth of the game and what you're doing. Scoring system is massive disappointment. I am actually not going to buy this specifically because of the scoring system. I did not like it at all.
Well, I was never likely to buy it, actually. Just because I haven't done well with Felds in the past, but this game was a big disappointment to me as well. And the reason is it has the easygoing, very, very light play style of a Ticket to Ride. And it's actually extremely pleasant to play. And I thought I was going to like it until that scoring system made itself apparent.
Yeah.
And I realized
it's so disappointing.
that 2/3 of the game don't need to be played because you've already determined what's going to happen in large part. Certainly 1/3 of the game never needs to be played.
Oh, yeah. I think that if the leader makes really bad decisions after the first round, they have a chance of losing. But, I mean, dude, it just...
Yeah.
That scoring system destroys it. It doesn't do anything for it.
Yep.
It's such a disappointment because the rest of the game is actually pretty fun. I mean, I like what you're doing. The only other thing that's nitpicky to me is the board that you put in front of you, the one with all the different colors and stuff, looks dumb. I just, for some reason, strikes me as stupid. Like,
yes.
Like, you know what? Let's just cut this out of cardboard, put it there. That looks good. Yeah, let's make a game out of that.
Colored hexes. There you go.
Colored hexes, but it's like, it's not even a hexagon of hexagons. It's like this weird 4x3 hexagon grid, and you get 3 of those.
Yep.
So it doesn't make anything that looks aesthetically pleasing.
No.
It's just weird blob of hexes in front of you.
Yes, and you know, that's my biggest problem with this game, and my biggest problem with Feld in general. It's, when I play a Feld game, I don't feel like I've accomplished something. I don't feel like I've built something. I don't feel like I've built something that I care about.
It's about points.
It's all about points. It's I have played with mechanisms and gotten points. And this one is exactly that right from the get-go with what you're saying. It's an ugly, meaningless assortment of hexagons that I don't care about.
That's fair. Yeah. You definitely have to be like more of a Euro gamer to appreciate that stuff, I guess.
Yeah.
you really like all the theme, and that's cool. I mean, I like theme too. I think that he has some other games that's not about points, like Oracle of Delphi, which is awesome.
Okay.
But I mean, I guess this game is all about points as well. I just don't like the way that the points occur.
Yeah, yeah. And it's a shame because I really like how quickly you take your turn. Draw 2 cards. That's it. Your turn is done. Next person's turn.
Good point.
You put a thing down or you take a thing. You're done. And it just whips around, and it seemed like it was going to be great. It really did.
Oh, yeah. Actually, it is a good game, I think, if you take away the scoring. Like, let's just say, theoretically, and on paper, mathematically, this probably doesn't work. But let's just say that you just score points, and that's it. Whoever gets the most points wins. There's none of this, like, you get extra points, and, you know, let's just say you just move the green thing around until you're done.
Yeah, no, I'm in favor of that.
So just with that in mind, did you like everything that was going on?
I did, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know if you can house rule it and just play that way, if it would actually be good or not.
I don't know. Or do you just, is this a game where you have to, everyone has to understand that points early on are primary, and you have to stay, you know, as close to each other in points as you can throughout the game, you know, and is it going to dictate your play style in that way? I just don't know.
But the only problem with that is the beginning of the game, since you have to kind of ramp up and kind of get a little bit of stuff going, the luck factor of having those cards and the way that the tiles come out, maybe you got the right colors out there for you to choose from,
right? Because
not all 8 tiles are always available. And so, you know, you have all these yellow cards in your hand, but there's no yellow tiles, and no one's flipping out new yellow tiles.
Yeah.
And so for you're getting all these like red tiles out in the first round, which means you're scoring a ton of points and also doing a lot of upgrades to all your other stuff.
Yeah.
So now you're going to be able to, your bootstrap are just like, you know, I'm like ready for this, you know, snowstorm where I'm kind of like, guys, I found my flip flops.
Yeah.
So,
and I think you put it really well, after one of the games that we played. I played this, again, with some of my friends from the Deaf Board Gaming Club. And it went the same way. The scoring went the same way. The game went the same way. There's nothing different. But you put it really well when you said that whatever the difference is in the scores after that first round, in the next round, in order to catch up that difference, you have to do twice as well as that difference, as that leader had.
As that player.
You have to literally do twice as well as they did. Yeah. And 3 times as well if you want to stretch it out to the next round. But between round 2 and 3,
if they score
it's the same way.
If they score 15 points in the second phase, you got to spend 30 just to you got to make up that 15 and do better than everything you do above that.
Yeah, like let's say they got 15 in the first round and you only got 12. you're 3 points behind, but you're actually 6 points that you have to make up in order to catch up to them.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's rough.
I literally have no idea. Unless some mathematical geniuses were playtesting this and were like, oh, I totally get it, Asmodeus. This is a great scoring system. Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, dude, your average game.
It leads to frustration. It does.
It's really frustrating because everything else that you were saying is great. I love the fact that I did my action. Oh, it's my turn again? Are you sure?
Yeah.
I just went.
Yeah, that's the best thing.
Cool,
it just goes around so fast. Yeah, but somebody's going to be sitting there at that table saying, I have no hope. Why am I here?
Yeah, it's definitely like games where, it has that game show scoring where everybody gets trickled amount of points, but at the end, it's like, if you finish this last thing, you get 500 points. It's like the whole game was pointless up until whoever wins this. That's more enjoyable than this.
Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, I do. I exactly know what you mean. And even Castles of Burgundy, which I intend never to play again, but even that game, like you have all of these scoring things that happen at the end of the game. So you don't really know who's won, necessarily.
Right. Yeah. Hidden victory points is one thing because man, I really think that George is doing really well, but somebody else has just kicked it and they have like less tokens, but they're all better values or whatever.
Right.
In this game, it's like, all right, you just got 12 more points than me in the first phase. So really you're 36 points or 24 points ahead of me.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Why do we bother?
It's demoralizing after, about the second phase. The third phase, you're just like, whatever, let's just finish this.
Which is unfortunate. Yeah.
Yep. I mean, we've said it multiple times. I really like everything about the game. The only two things is I just don't like the aesthetic of your player board in front of you.
Yeah. Like
the 3 boards that you set up. It just looks dumb.
Right.
And it's not very symmetrical. So it just kind of bothers me.
Yeah.
And then the scoring, but everything else about the game I really like. I like the actions you're taking. I like that every time you put a tile out, you do all these cool things.
Right. I mean, other than the fact that it's also a soulless Euro that you don't care about and you don't actually build anything meaningful. Other than that, yes, it's great.
If you're not much into the theme and you like the mechanisms, it's a lot of cool stuff going on.
It does. Yeah, it does.
I have absolutely no idea what the theme is for this, if there is one.
Well,
it's probably that one paragraph.
You're making a little kingdom with, there are pigs.
Oh, yeah, I guess that's point.
There's some pigs and wheat. I don't know. I didn't like it.
And you're making trade towns. Yeah, okay, the theme's it's there.
Yeah.
But it's not there.
It's kind of a race. It really is just kind of a race.
It is a race.
Which is not unpleasant.
Except you start on the finish line.
I can deal with, I can deal with a race. I like race games. I can handle, doing the mechanisms and doing the things to get my points. And I was the one that ended up way out in front, but it felt unsatisfying ultimately.
That's when you know it's a problem. If you do really well and you're like,
yeah.
Like, oh man, that's not good.
Yeah.
All right. So any final thoughts on this one?
So much hype. I don't get it.
Well, I mean, it had a lot of hype because nobody played it. It was like, since Castles of Burgundy was such a big game and done so well, sold so many copies.
Yeah.
This was coming out and supposed to be like the sequel. No one really knew it was like a lighter version and all that stuff.
Right.
So it had a lot of hype. I think rightfully so, based on how well received Castles of Burgundy is. Unfortunately, it falls short for me. The only reason I would buy this is to finish my Feld collection. But
and I think a lot of people have bought it, and maybe for that reason. But it gets a lot of good ratings too, so I think people are really cutting it some slack. And
yeah, I think so. I think people are biased on their rating for this one specifically because it's a Feld.
Yeah, and it's fun.
He's a nice guy.
It is a fun Feld. Like of the Felds, I would rather play this one honestly. Because it's shorter.
Yeah.
It's shorter.
That's what I'm saying.
Quicker.
Like, it's a fun game to play. It really, really sucks that the scoring system is so just
atrocious.
Not fun.
It's atrocious.
It's not fun.
Yep.
It's different. I'll give it that.
Fix it. Fix it, Feld.
Yeah. I don't think there's any hope. There might be a hope for a re-implementation of the game, though.
Oh, boy.
10 years from now. All right. I think we're done with this one, right?
Yeah, it's a shame.
Yep. I agree with that. That is the Castles of Tuscany. All right. That's pretty much the show. I think we had 4 games to go over. This was kind of a test to see how long it would be with 2 people. Another thing we thought about is switching to top 10s. I think top 5s are fun, but we were only really doing top 5s because we had 3 and 4 people at one point, and it just sucked up a bunch of time. But top 10s are really great; gives us more breathing room on the list.
Right. I mean, we could be different and do top 13s or something.
Top 13? What? I don't know. I guess the Halloween episode.
Yeah, maybe.
All right. We want to thank you again for tuning in to episode 107 of the MeepleCore podcast. This episode was recorded on December 10th, 2020. Please send questions and comments to MeepleCore@gmail.com. Follow MeepleCore on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and check out the video versions of the show on youtube.com/MeepleCore. Until next time, this is Tim Jennette, the Metal Meeple.
If you say so. And this is George Breden.
Keep on rocking and rolling dice.